Today we are going to be diving into the major change that is around the corner for you so that you could be as best prepared as possible for what is about to shift, transform, and how you can prepare for it and what is it actually good for. So if you are interested in finding out about all that, then make sure to stay tuned and watch this reading all the way through because we are going to be getting into it. Now we have 3 piles to choose from in today's reading and they go as such. This card represents pile number 1 and it is also accompanied by this fluorite stone. This card represents pile number 2 and it is also accompanied by green opal. And this card represents pile number 3 and is accompanied by amazonite. If you already know which pile you feel drawn to, then just go on ahead into the description box and click on the timestamp that you need. But if you are not sure, then what I always recommend is making sure that you are grounded in this space, in this present moment, that you don't have any distractions around you that will allow you to listen to your intuition the most easily. And you can close your eyes if that helps. You can take a few deep breaths to get you really centered and present. And just look at all of the pictures, look at the cards, look at the colors, look at the gemstones that are attached to these piles. Just feel whatever you are drawn to, whatever your eye is drawn to. It can even be the number of the pile that you feel a certain resonance with. So trust your intuition and go off of that. But I also always want to remind you to use your discernment as well as you are listening to these general messages. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Hello, pile number 1, and welcome to your reading. My name is Helen, and I am so thrilled that you are here with me. I want to thank you for your beautiful energy and presence. And we are going to dive right into it. We have the card that you chose for this pile, but we also have some pre-prepared oracle cards, which we are going to dive into in just a bit. I'm going to put the stone over here, this fluorite that you chose, and I'm just going to feel my way through this card intuitively, see what I pick up on from this image, just to give you a sort of initial impression of this pile. Now, this whole image looks like winter to me. It represents this sort of cold, icy, frozen time for some reason. That's what I feel intuitively. And so pile number 1, you could be in a time right now, or you may possibly have been for quite some time, in a period where things are not really moving, where things are not progressing too much, where it's just still, where it's just stagnant, or you may feel like things are stagnant. But I feel like there are a lot of processes that are happening within you and that are happening possibly in your psyche or in your subconscious, or if they haven't been unconscious to you, possibly you have been doing a lot of inner work during this time where there hasn't been too many activities or processes around you. It feels like you have used this time to work on yourself, to get in touch with some deeper aspects of yourself, to possibly, meditate more or find out more about you, to connect with your true inner self, to connect to some deeper, darker parts, to some shadows possibly as well, and really see what you can bring to the surface. And so I feel like you have actually gained a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom. I feel like you have developed your intuition, your inner voice, that gut instinct or some sort of inner guidance. And so I feel like even though there could be certain frustrations that you feel regarding things being just like too quiet or feeling like they are at a standstill, I feel like you have actually used this time very, very productively, and you have made sort of the best use of what you have and turned this whole period to your advantage somehow. You have grown despite the quiet and the stillness and the stagnation that has been around you possibly. So that is what I feel. And you may actually be able to receive certain messages more easily now. You may have a deeper sort of connection with your dream space. You may receive some messages while you are dreaming, or you may notice more synchronicities around you. You may be getting some intuitive messages more often, or you could just be hearing certain sensations in your body, or feeling certain sensations in your body when you are in a group of people that are not right for you, or when you get a proposition or some sort of suggestion that doesn't sit well with you, or something like that. I feel like you actually have such a clear grasp on your inner landscape now, and so that can almost assist you in making the sort of most aligned choices for you moving forward. And so I feel like this whole time has been to prepare you for what is ahead. And as we are looking at the major changes that are about to come in for you, I feel like you can actually use all of these sort of new skills, or these enhanced skills that you now have to connect to your intuition to your advantage. You can actually make use of them. But that's what I'm feeling intuitively, pile number one. And we have some pre-prepared oracle cards, as I already said, and we are going to get some more detailed information through these cards, as well as some astro dice, to see what the general overview of your current situation is. And hopefully, based on all of that information, it will be very easy for you to understand whether you're watching the right pile or not. So let's see. We have the White Rose of Hope, which looks a lot like this image, by the way. Okay, we have Achievement Life Cycles. We have Clover. Intuition Evolution. And we have Ava. Okay. So pile number one. First off, I want to say that the color scheme of all of these cards feels very like monotone or monochrome, except for this Ava card, which we're going to get into in a second. But what I'm picking up on from these cards, pile number one, is that you could currently be coming out of this period of things being very silent, very still, and non-moving. And I feel like you can sense it as well. You can kind of feel that things are starting to pick up again. And I feel that strongly with both of these cards, with the White Rose of Hope and this Achievement Life Cycles. It seems like you are kind of, sorry, I don't know how well you'll be able to see the messages on these cards, but it feels like you are kind of able to see the light at the end of the tunnel now. I feel that especially with the White Rose of Hope, it's like you can sense that something is about to shift, something is about to turn and start bringing in movement again, start bringing in new opportunities again. Maybe even some new opportunities are already on your path. And you may sort of try, or you may be trying currently to figure out whether those opportunities are right for you or not. Because especially with Clover too, Clover is a symbol of luck, or some sort of an opportunity of new beginnings as well. And so clearly there seems to be some sort of new sprouts that are cropping up for you in your life, and you could be sort of drawn to them, but at the same time you kind of realize now that it's not wise to say yes to everything, because not everything is, first of all, as good as it seems, and secondly, because not everything is going to be the right match or the right fit for you. And I definitely feel that with the Ava card here, because this card is kind of a warning, or it has a bit of a suspicious energy about it. There are all of these like weird, exotic, toxic plants at play. There is also the snake around this woman's neck. And so this does talk about something being a bit shady, something not being exactly what it says that it is, or, things not being as they appear. There is some sort of something that you are being like warned about. And I feel like that is what you are feeling on the inside, that there could be some offers that are either like tempting you or that may seem very alluring at first, but then on like deeper inspection, or when you really sort of dive into the details of it, or when you start looking behind the scenes and getting the real tea about the situation, it feels like something is not quite right. And I feel like you can feel it too, because we have this intuition evolution card. And so that clearly confirms that you do have a lot of a stronger, or a lot more of a strong connection to your intuition now. You do sense things more easily. And I feel like your sort of alert or alarm system, your internal alarm system, is definitely, letting you know and helping you decipher which of these opportunities are right for you and which ones aren't. Because I feel like maybe previously, before this whole time of like quieting down and tuning into your intuition and all of that, I feel like before that time, you may have most likely said yes to a lot of these opportunities and just sort of figured out things as you went along, right? Maybe you previously would have jumped into certain chances or pathways more easily and more quickly. But I feel like now you don't want to waste your precious energy. You don't want to waste your time, and you don't want to get tangled up in things that that make you feel bad, or that drain you, or that have some sort of a negative energy about them, or a negative effect on you. Because I feel like you have worked so hard to get to this point where you are right now, to feel this sense of like inner strength and an inner connection. And I feel like you have a lot more respect for your own energy, for your own efforts, for your own resources now. And you are not willing to just spread them around willy-nilly. And so I feel like you are in a place right now, pile number one, where you are sort of navigating your path forward, or where you may be kind of at a crossroads in a way, where you may be deciding which way you want to go and really taking the time to tune in to what feels right for you. But I also feel like there is this sense of hope, this sense of sort of positivity that is cropping up within you, that you feel more energized, you feel more enthusiastic and optimistic about the future and finding the right path for you. If that makes any sense. Hopefully that makes sense. But I want to use some Astro Dice too to see if we can get any extra details about what is at the sort of the focal point of your life right now, and possibly what sort of crossroads you are standing at. Okay, interesting. So we have Libra, we have the 9th house, and we have Mercury. Okay, yeah, so definitely I want to start off with this Mercury die here because, sorry, these are kind of difficult to see, because this is letting me know that you are very much in your headspace right now. You are very much trying to figure out which path is right for you. You are going through a certain analysis period. You are possibly doing some research or just asking around or digging deep. This is really using your mind, finding out as much information as you possibly can. This is also about communication. So you could be talking to people a lot. You could be, really doing your due diligence in order to get the most accurate information and make the most correct decisions or choices for you. Because we also have this Libra. that came out here. And so clearly Libra is a sign of making decisions, of weighing the pros and cons, of finding the most harmonized path forward. And so it sort of affirms that you could be making decisions, but also because Libra is very highly attached to relationships, this whole situation could talk about a potential relationship. And I'm not talking about specifically romantic relationships. This can be business partnerships. This can be between colleagues, between friends, between family members. So whatever sort of opportunity you are considering right now, or possibly several opportunities, I feel like you are trying to sort of find the best, most harmonized path forward. And also because we're dealing with the 9th house, which is about beliefs and philosophy and sort of your wider perspective on life in general, it feels like you are considering like these real big picture things, right? And I also feel like this, because this is a very spiritual house as well, you seem to be very much, again, in touch with your intuition, with what feels right to you, with possibly making sure that you are doing these like spiritual practices or taking care of your spiritual needs as well, so that you could make the best, most aligned decision for yourself. But yeah, it seems like decisions are definitely at the forefront for you right now, pile number 1. But having said all of that, if you recognize yourself in this, if any of that sounds familiar, then it's very likely that you are watching the right pile. And stay tuned for this next part, because now we are getting into the juicy bits. We are going to tap into some tarot cards to look at the major change that is around the corner. So let's start off with that. Let's see what is actually changing for you, pile number 1. Okay. Oh, we have the High Priestess at the bottom of the deck. I love that. Okay, wow. We have the Tower and we have the Two of Pentacles in reverse. And just to point out the zodiac signs that I am picking up on from this, in case you resonate with them yourself or you recognize them around you. The Tower is a card of Mars. So we have Aries and Scorpio both coming out over here. And we also have the High Priestess, which is attached to the Moon. So Cancer could also be significant, or just really any water sign. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Okay, pile number 1. The most obvious thing here is that there is very firm confirmation that this period of standstill is definitely going to be ending for you, and you are going to be going through a massive transformation period where things are going to speed up for you again. And so I feel like that's why this whole spirituality and this connecting with yourself and listening to yourself and coming back to your true core is such a useful thing that you can sort of tap into, even though we're going to look at the resources you can use as well. But it feels like with this High Priestess especially, that this next period that you are sort of thrown into is going to definitely benefit from you sort of listening to yourself, tuning into your inner wisdom and inner guidance, and using your intuition a lot to work out what is right for you and what isn't right for you. Looking at this Tower card, I want to start off with this card first, because it seems like the change that is going to be coming in for you, pile number 1, is something that is somewhat unexpected, even though, as I said, I feel like intuitively you feel that something is coming, but I feel like when it actually arrives, it's going to sort of take you by surprise in a way still. And I don't want you to get worried or anything, because the Tower is not always like this whole big traumatizing, terrifying thing. Even though, change always shakes us up in some way, but the Tower also represents things that sort of need to happen for your highest good, things that need to break down, or things that need to sort of shift in order for you to become more aligned with what is truly right for you. And so especially with the Two of Pentacles in reverse here, this feels like a breakdown in a situation that hasn't really been too balanced, that hasn't really been too fair. if we are talking about a relationship, if this whole thing resonates for you in a relationship context, then it seems like there is going to be a breakdown within that existing dynamic where things haven't been equal, you know, where possibly you have had to do more for the other person and you maybe haven't received that much back, or where you have been sacrificing yourself too much, or where you have been, you know, trying to make do with energies of lack in the relationship. There could even have been, you know, because this is a card of the Pentacles, right? So this is the Earth suit. There could even have been certain like physical material issues within the relationship too that could have been affecting your connection. And so it seems like that sort of period of like chaos or things just being way too extreme or way too unbalanced, that is definitely going to be coming to an end here. And because we have this High Priestess card at the bottom, I feel like you could be a part of that change, or you could be not necessarily like instigating it, but I feel like that you could be playing a part in that change. So it feels like it is a very sort of divine shift that is happening, because we have two major arcana cards here. So clearly this is something that either your higher self is participating in, or just the universe is sort of orchestrating for you. But it definitely feels kind of magical in a way, even though, you know, that the Tower does indicate that it could still be a shocking experience to go through in a way. But I feel like this transitioning period that you're going to be going through is not going to be something too... It feels like it's not going to be lasting too long. It's something that you are well equipped to handle. Now, this could also be talking about a certain like job situation, especially if you have been unemployed for some time. I feel like with the Tower here, this could be this like breakthrough moment where you possibly suddenly realize what needs to change, or how you could sort of manage your finances better, what you could do to improve your situation the way that it is right now, and how you could set yourself up for success. Or again, if there have been any situations at work where maybe your colleagues have been sort of riding on your coattails, or I'm not sure whether that's the right expression, but you know, where they may have been taking advantage of you and just taking credit for your work, or sort of using you to carry their load as well. It seems to be something that you are not going to be accepting anymore, because the Tower not only symbolizes sort of like external major shifts that happen, but it also represents these like inner breakthrough moments where we suddenly see things in a new way, and where we can't unsee things the way that they are now. And so, you know, we just sort of alter our reality in that sense, because we have some new information, we have a new way of thinking of things, and it doesn't allow for us to make the same choices anymore. And so I feel like there is definitely an end to some sort of unbalanced situation or unfair situation, and I feel like you're going to start doing things that are much more right for you, that are much more aligned with you, and that feel good on the inside, that feel like you are taking care of your best interests as well, and not just taking care of other people or worrying about them, right? Now, let's see how you can prepare for this change, and what are the strengths you can rely on, any resources you can use. Okay, interesting. So we have the Chariot at the bottom of the deck, which came out in reverse. We also have the Knight of Swords and the Queen of Wands that also came out in reverse. So we have Gemini coming through, we have Aries once again coming through, and we have more Cancer coming through. So again, you know, if you resonate with these signs, that's great, but if you don't, that's fine too. Okay, so the first thing I want to say here, pile number one, is that get ready to experience some pushback and some resistance, especially from other people whose egos may be getting a bit burnt as a result of you making some changes or laying down some ground rules, or just starting to do things differently. I definitely feel this resistance with the Chariot card that came out in reverse, but I'm showing you the image upright, because when the Chariot comes out in reverse, it always indicates that even though you are on the right path, even though you seem to be propelling yourself towards success or triumph, or just something that is like more highly aligned as well, this has a certain sense of divinity to it as well. So it seems like you are doing the right thing, but there are certain obstacles that are placed on your path. There are certain things that are slowing you down, or you are facing certain resistance that is making it more difficult for you to make progress on this chosen journey. And I definitely feel that with the Queen of Wands that came out in reverse. Whoever this person is, I'm going to show you the image upright. They don't have to be female, by the way. Even though this is a very feminine energy, it just feels kind of a difficult personality. Someone who may be a bit more self-serving, or who may be very adamant on getting their way in whatever situation they are in. And sorry, I kind of have to show it to you reversed as well. They are someone who is not very good at making compromises, or they don't really want to bother themselves with like how their decisions affect other people. Maybe they don't even really think about it, because this Queen in reverse energy feels very egotistical in some way. And so the strength that you can use, I feel, is first of all staying very logical about this whole thing. I feel like your strength, or your upper hand in this situation, is going to come from keeping emotion out of it and staying focused on the facts, staying focused on clear communication, on clear intentions as well, reminding yourself why it is that you are doing something, or trying to figure out the reasoning behind why something is the way that it is, or how it would be most useful and most beneficial to move forward. And I feel like in this specific context, pile number one, you are almost urged to be a bit more egotistical yourself, and not in a way that you are going to be, bulldozing over other people, but I just feel that in a way that you are protecting your own interests, and you are protecting your own well-being and peace of mind. Because this Knight of Swords energy, I feel like is, it's kind of this energy that is solely focused on its goal, and sort of has a bit of a blinders on type energy about it. They don't allow themselves to get distracted. And so that's why I feel like Spirit is saying here that your best weapon against, this backlash, or people getting their feelings hurt, or lashing out at you, or, anything like that, or they could even try and manipulate you with their feelings somehow, or with their affection, with their warmth somehow. I feel like it's important not to take it personally, not to allow your feelings to alter the way that you go about it, because you may start feeling sorry for this other person, or you may feel like there could be a part of you that feels compelled to let this other person get their way, or to sort of fall back to this usual pattern of things. But that's why this Knight of Swords is here, to remind you to stay focused, to remind you to be clear on what is the right thing, right? This whole morals, values, beliefs, perspective, like keep that at the forefront. And again, keep thinking about the bigger picture, the end goal here, and what it is that you are trying to achieve, and why you are doing all of this in the first place. So that you could have healthier relationships, healthier boundaries in place, so that you could have a more protected sanctuary around you where, people can't just take advantage of you, and that you wouldn't find yourself in places where you feel like, your needs are not being met, or your wishes are not being valued, or your opinions are not being valued. And I feel like it's, you know, you are done with those types of situations and connections. So yeah, let's see. We have one last question to answer, and that is, what is this change good for, and how can this benefit you? I feel like these two cards wanna... Wow, okay, yeah, beautiful. Ooh, I love this. We have Temperance at the bottom of the deck, which is Sagittarian energy. And the two cards that kind of wanted to come out were the 10 of Cups and the 4 of Cups. So we have more water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces again being significant here. So I love that we are getting Temperance at the bottom of the deck here, because this is all about moderation, balance, and equality, right? Like having this beautiful harmonized flow. Even though this is a card of Sagittarius, I always feel such heavy Libran energy here too, because it's about finding just the right amount of these dualistic energies, you know, finding this golden middle path, and making sure that, you know, this whole situation is healthy for all parties involved, and you know that there aren't any like extremes at play. So with the 10 of Cups and the 4 of Cups here, it's clear that, first of all, this whole situation, this whole change that is occurring, it's going to be good for your emotional well-being, but also your relationships in general, because the 10 of Cups does speak about the unities that we have with other people, or the unions, sorry, I should say unions, and certain commitments that we have with other people. And this is a very strong family card and like intimate relationship card, but this, you know, this can also talk about the relationships that we have at work, or that we have with our colleagues, with our bosses, again, you know, with our friends. So it feels like this whole situation is crucial for you to focus more on what it is that you want, right? Because the 4 of Cups is a card of also meditation and introspection, and just taking the time to really figure out where things may not be quite balanced, where they may be a bit unfulfilling or draining, or you know, where this like sense of unfulfillment is coming from in your life, and what you can do to change it. So it seems like, you know, it's time. Spirit wants you to have more of these fulfilling and nurturing and loving relationships, and more harmony and balance in general in your life. So again, regardless of which context this is specifically talking about for you, it's time that your well-being is highlighted a lot more, that your own needs and wishes and wants are more heard and more at the forefront, and more acknowledged as well. Because I do have to say, there seems to be some people-pleasing energy that is coming through here, pile number 1. And you know, this is not like a judgment in any sort of way, because it's such a common thing. Everyone does it at some point in their lives. But you know, it just feels like for you, pile number 1, this could have been something that ended up being a lot more detrimental to your well-being than it should have been. And so this is sort of this breaking the cycle, breaking the pattern that I see happening here. But as the last part of this reading, pile number 1, I want to use this very sweet, very adorable oracle card deck with this little frog, and we're going to get some advice from Spirit for this whole reading, pile number 1. So let's see. Whoa. Oh my God, this is beautiful. Okay, so we have a lot of like this self-love message thing coming through here. Yeah, the card that you got is I forgive myself. And so, yeah, this is just such a cute little message to remind yourself that no matter what you have gone through, no matter how, you know, difficult your path has been, or the things that you feel guilty about, or where you feel like you have messed up, or where you feel like you have let yourself down, or not lived up to some sort of potential that you have in your mind. This is Spirit urging you to let all of that go, and to remind yourself that you are just human, right? You are always doing your best. You are always doing your utmost of what you can. And sometimes, you know, it isn't what we would like. Sometimes it isn't as good as we would have liked ourselves to be, or, you know, sometimes we feel like we do let ourselves down, but it's all a learning curve at the end of the day. It's all just a journey, and you are still on that journey. So at the bottom of the deck, we have look in the mirror and say, you are beautiful. That means the most coming from you. So as I said, very heavy emphasis on self-love, on self-appreciation. And that's what I feel like you, again, have been doing. That's what you have been focusing on. And that's what this whole period of time has been for. And so I feel like you are going to start making so many more healthy choices for yourself moving forward. And this feels so amazing. And I hope that you are really, really proud of yourself, pile number one, if you resonate with this reading. Because this looks amazing. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much, pile number one, for spending this time with me. I really, really enjoyed delivering these messages to you, and I hope that you are excited for this very promising future ahead. And thank you for being here. Thank you for all of your beautiful likes, your comments, your subscribes, any sort of support that you have shown this channel. I really appreciate it. And as always, I hope to see you back on this channel very, very soon. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number two. I am so happy that you have chosen to spend this time with me, and I appreciate your beautiful energy. Now, you chose this green opal stone, which I'm going to put right over here, as well as this card. Now, we do have some pre-prepared oracle cards as well, but we're going to look at those in just a bit, because first I want to tap into this card and see what I'm picking up on intuitively. And yeah, hopefully it will help you in some way to understand how you are resonating with this pile. So the first thing that I'm feeling here, pile number two, is protection. I feel like you have been trying to make some sort of a safe haven for yourself, or really set yourself up for success, making sure that you are steady, that you are stable. This could like really talk about pretty much like every area of life for yourself. You seem to be thinking of things in a very like well-rounded way, or, you know, almost like thinking of everything. So sorry, this stone is, there we go. So you could be trying to think of everything and make sure that there is no side that is like not protected, or that is vulnerable somehow. I also feel like you are kind of, you know, waiting for like the right moment, or waiting for the right time to like either launch something or do something. There seems to be some sort of element of patience here as well. You have been working really, really hard. And even though I feel like you are actually, as I said, you are actually protected, you are actually in a very steady place, there could still be a certain anxiety that you are feeling where, you know, you could be worried about what might happen, or how things may go wrong, or, you know, it's like you could be overthinking things a bit, and maybe even beating yourself up over some things. There's a sense of like perfectionism that I'm picking up from this card. And like, even though things are actually okay, things are actually good and stable, and I don't feel like you're actually threatened in any way, you may feel a bit unsettled anyway, or you could still be a bit like unsure and feeling like you haven't done enough or something like that. But at the same time, like, as I said, it's so weird. There is this level of patience here as well. So it's almost like you are not making any hasty choices, even though you do feel some anxiety inside, but it's like you have a lot of this self-control. So Yeah, as I said, it's a bit of a weird contrast here, but that's what I'm feeling, pile number 2. So let's look at these pre-prepared oracle cards now, which are going to tell us about what is the situation that you're currently dealing with, what is going on with you. So hopefully you'll be able to resonate with these messages more easily, or recognize yourself in these messages more easily. So we have the Journey. We have Humanity Awareness. We have Chamomile. Trust Partnership. And Flower Spirit. So pile number 2, the thing that is so funny to me here is that seriously, every single card is talking about support, protection, and like partnership or friendship, or having a support system, or like a protective network around you. And so that's why it's so funny to me, because it just so firmly confirms that like all of your worries that you seem to have are like, they are pretty much not based on anything real, or okay, maybe that sounds a bit bad. Let's say it like that, okay? You don't actually have that much to worry about, because I feel like even if something were to come about that like threatens your stability somehow, you have so much support around you. You have so many like resources that you can rely on. I feel like there is definitely either someone, you could have a significant other or a very special someone in your life, regardless of whether they are just a friend, whether they are a family member, whether they are your spouse or your boyfriend, girlfriend, or anything like that. You definitely seem to have someone around you who cares about you a lot and who is always there for you, who has your back 100%, who always looks out for you and wants what's best for you. So I definitely feel that here, pile number 2. You know, maybe this connection is coming through so heavily, or this amount of support is coming through so heavily, is because you could be thinking about how you can, you know, be an even better partner or an even better friend for this other person, or an even better sibling or son or daughter or something like that. You could be, you know, very preoccupied with the sort of quality of that relationship and making sure that, you know, it's nurtured, it's well taken care of, and that your relationship is like thriving. That's why this whole spread could be talking about like a specific connection. Or maybe on the other end of things, you could be trying to figure out how you fit into a certain relationship dynamic, or how you fit into a collective, if this is like a work thing as well. Or you may be trying to find your role in like a family setting, a family dynamic. Or you could be the one who feels responsible for someone else, or for certain, again, people that are close to you, and you may be worried about how you are able to provide for them, how you are able to take care of them. It just feels like this whole thing is very much focused on some other person, or your connection to that other person or other people, and sort of how you fit into all of that. And I kind of feel like I don't really even... I'm going to show you all of the cards so you could see them, but I kind of feel like they are all talking about the same thing, because we have this journey with the humanity and awareness that came out first. And so these two cards are talking about some sort of like progress, or some sort of movement ahead, right? Like just going through life, or finding your way forward, navigating life in general. And with this humanity and awareness, it seems like you are either like realizing how like valuable these connections are in your life, or how you could be, again, trying to do even more, or figure out how you can be an even better person to this other people, or these people that matter to you. Because with humanity, it feels like you are, again, trying to take care of like this bigger picture, or like this bigger network of things. With chamomile as well, this is a very soothing, a very loving and supportive energy. Again, it's talking about protection. So whether this is you trying to protect someone else, or Are the people trying to protect you? It could go both ways as well, of course, but it seems to be something that is at the forefront here, you know, making sure that everyone is safe and taken care of. We have this trust and partnership and this flower spirit, which also talks about friendship and relying on someone else, or, you know, having this beautiful, loving support and a very gentle energy around you. So as I said, all of these cards keep reiterating the same thing, but I want to get some more, let's see if we can get any more details from these astro dice, see what is like the focal point of what is actually going on with you right now, or what you are dealing with. So let's see. Okay, interesting. So we have the third house coming through, we have Scorpio, and we have the North Node. So with the third house, this more specifically talks about just, again, communication in general and like networks. So this could be this could talk about your siblings, this could talk about your neighborhood, you know, again, if this is some sort of a bigger mission that you are doing. Maybe you are trying to better your neighborhood. Maybe you are trying to make some changes, or just make sure that the sort of the living space, or the area that you dwell in the most every day, that it's taken care of, and that it's as best as it could be. So yeah, it feels like you are wanting to take care of like your sort of usual everyday area, or what you like frequent most often every day. So again, it could be a place that you work in, it could be your family, it could be, again, like your actual neighborhood or community. But yeah, it seems like it's something that you care about deeply, that you are sort of worried about, and that you are trying to protect. Because we also have this Scorpio energy coming through, and Scorpio is a water sign. And it's very well known for, you know, being very deeply involved in things, or, you know, diving deep into things that they care about, having deep attachments as well once they do care about something, and really digging into certain things, you know. But it also can talk about certain fears being, you know, overemphasized a bit, or getting too obsessed with something, you know, getting a bit too attached to certain things, right? To the point where it may become a bit like detrimental. But in general, it feels like this is a very deep attachment that we are dealing with here. And finally, we have this North Node that also came out. And so this is talking about some sort of a bigger mission, or some, like, it's almost like this North Star that you feel drawn to, something that you were compelled to do. So as I said, this could be talking about like something that you feel that you need to do, something that you feel that you need to protect or take care of, or it almost feels like a life purpose in some way. So whatever it is that you are doing here, pile number 2, it feels like you are all in. It feels like you are trying to make something as good as it possibly can be. There could also be you, like, as I said, there seems to be an energy of you waiting around, or patiently preparing for a certain right time to do something. With this North Node, it could be that you are trying to better certain existing patterns, or you could be trying to bring change into whatever this area of life is for you, that you feel so like protective over, or so sort of invested and attached to. But anyway, if you could resonate with this at all, pile number 2, then make sure to keep on watching. I understand it could have been a bit confusing, pile number 2, but yeah, that's what came through. So hopefully it spoke to someone out there. But we are going to look at some tarot cards next. So if you could at all resonate with this story, then make sure to stay tuned, because we are getting into the major change that is around the corner for you. So let's see what is about to change. Okay, so we have the Hermit card that came out in reverse, which is Virgo energy. And I'm just pointing out the signs in case you recognize them, either around you or within yourself. We also have some heavy earth energy coming through with the Three of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles. So that would be more Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And we also have the Two of Wands that came out here. Now, what I find interesting here, pile number 2, is that there was all of this protective energy that was coming through, and just this being slightly anxious, and, you know, and it seems that for some of you, this whole protective energy could be talking about you sort of wanting to protect yourself, or wanting to even shelter yourself from other people in a way, or feeling like you need to keep other people at arm's length, because you haven't really felt like you could trust other people, or yeah, like maybe other people have let you down somehow, or something like that. But it's almost like you are also like craving other people's energy, or to have some sort of connection. I feel like there is someone around you who is, as I said, has your back, and who wants to, you know, connect with you somehow. But it could also be that you may be somewhat detached from them, or that they can't really be as close to you as they would like to be, or something like that. So it's so strange. As I said, this whole energy feels so strange, because it seems to be full of like controversies, or yeah, like opposing energies. I don't know, it's so strange. So anyway, what is changing for you, pile number 2? Regardless of which sort of energy you resonate with, I feel like if you resonate more with this energy of having someone to protect, and feeling like you need to take care of everyone, with this Hermit energy coming out in reverse, I'm going to show you the image upright. With this Hermit coming out in reverse, it feels like you know, that this whole energy of you needing to look out for someone, or needing to shoulder the sole responsibility of someone else, I feel like that is coming to an end here. And for those of you who are resonating more with this energy of protecting yourself, or wanting to keep your life very steady and stable, it seems like that period of possibly like isolation or solitude could be coming an end for you too, because we have this Two of Wands and this Three of Coins that came out. And so it seems like there is going to be some sort of opportunity for you where you can possibly, connect with other people, where you can possibly start collaborating with other people, or where other people will start helping you out. So it's almost like this beautiful teamwork that is coming in for you with this Three of Coins. And with the Two of Wands, it just feels like you are going to be moving ahead, like in a new direction, or things are starting to open up for you. There are going to be certain possibilities that you get to choose from. And I feel like these are exciting things as well, and something that is going to sort of push you out of your comfort zone a bit. But in the end, with the Three of Coins, it feels like it's going to be something that is truly rewarding, something that is like long-standing, and something that really benefits you. Because with the Eight of Coins that came out in reverse at the bottom of the deck, and again, showing you the image upright, but with it coming out in reverse, it feels like this solo work, or this, again, all of this effort that you have done by yourself, that seems to be something that is changing, that is going to be altering now. And I feel like things are going to become a lot more easy for you. So, especially if you have been suffering from certain anxiety or certain fears, it seems like you're going to find some sort of alleviation from those things, because I do see that other people are going to be playing a big part in this. There is going to be some sort of support, especially with the Three of Coins, that is going to be coming in to help you sort of out of this, like either analysis paralysis, or some of these anxieties, some of these things that you could be overthinking, or that you could be worried about. And I also feel like for some of you, especially if you haven't allowed other people to, offer the support that they want to offer you, it seems like that is going to be changing as well. There seems to be certain opening up that is coming about, where a certain new path or a certain plan or project that you have your eyes set on could require other people's energy or input. And so there seems to be some sort of expansion that you are going to be going through, pile number 2. So this is very exciting stuff, and it's also very promising, because with the Two of Wands and the Three of Coins, it feels like there is true potential for this whole thing, whatever this is for you, to develop into something really, really beautiful and solid. And with the Hermit in reverse, it also feels like this preparation that you have done, and this like biding your time or making sure that all of your bases are covered. It seems to be some sort of wisdom that you can use as you move into this new project or this new thing, or as you connect more with some people. Yeah, it seems like you can really tap into some of this wisdom that you have gained as you have been in this stage of securing yourself. But let's look at how you can prepare for this major change that is coming in for you. What are the strengths you can rely on, or resources you can use? We still got the Eight of Coins that came out in reverse. We also have the Nine of Cups that came out in reverse. And we have the Six of Coins that came out in reverse. Okay, interesting. So we have a lot of earth energy, once again. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And we also have some water energy. So I feel like one of the things that is going to help you, based on these cards, this Eight of Coins and this Nine of Cups in reverse especially, one of the things that you can use to your advantage, pile number 2, is that you seem to be someone who is very concerned with other people's well-being. And I feel like that especially resonates or speaks to those who, as I said, feel like you are responsible for someone, or you have to take care of other people. This feels, especially with the Nine of Cups in reverse, like you know how to not just worry about yourself, but also sort of have a bigger picture in mind, or see things in a broader way, and realize that usually the best results are achieved when all of the participants are heard and seen and acknowledged. And so there seems to be a certain humility that I feel with these cards, that you possibly know how to sort of tune out any like personal ego things or personal gratification, and you can sort of make compromises in order to like find the best solution. But I also feel like there could be this side of you that knows how to make it on your own, where, you know, especially with the Six of Coins that came out in reverse, especially with this energy, it feels like you could be used to sort of having to rely on yourself, or having a certain imbalance in relationships, or when it comes to support. You could be sort of used to either taking on more responsibility, or just making do with having to look out for yourself, or having to take care of things by yourself. And so, you know, it's even though I feel like it's something that is changing, I feel like what you can really rely on is the knowledge that you have made it before, that you have, that regardless of like what happens, and even if, you know, because I feel like one of the fears here that could be playing a role is that other people are going to let you down somehow. That could be one of this thing where you may have a hard time like delegating things to other people. But I feel like because you know that even if that happens, you can sort of fix things yourself because you have the necessary know-how. I feel like that almost like takes away some of that anxiety or some of that fear. And so it's it's going to make it easier for you to cope with this change and to adapt to this new dynamic that I feel is going to be coming into play for you. Again, especially when it comes to how you sort of fit into certain dynamics, or how you participate in certain relationships. And it also feels like you are not really trying to gain something for yourself here. I don't feel any like self-serving interests at play here. I mean, we had this North Node here too. So it seems like whatever this thing is that you are wanting to launch or that you are preparing for, it seems to be something that is going to benefit like a larger group of people. And so having this like noble intention behind it is something that is also going to help it to succeed, is what I feel like. But anyway, let's keep going. The final question that we are going to ask is, what is this change good for? How is this change going to benefit you? So let's see. Okay, interesting. So we have the Queen of Cups that came out in reverse, and we have the Nine of Swords and the Page of Pentacles that came out in reverse at the bottom of the deck. So we have some Cancerian energy with the Queen of Cups, and yeah, and we have even more Earth energy. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn seems to be a very, very significant energies here. Okay, so I definitely get the sense here that because of these fears and anxieties that you have been keeping to yourself, I feel like there have also been certain new solutions or good ideas that you may have missed in the past because of trying to, again, shoulder everything yourself, or not allowing other people to help you. We have this Queen of Cups in reverse with the Nine of Swords. And so this clearly talks about a pattern of, having fears with the Nine of Swords, but then with the Queen of Cups in reverse, being very emotionally distant or being closed off about it, not really sharing too willingly, or keeping some things to yourself. And possibly also not really knowing how to handle these anxieties or how to handle this emotional turmoil that is within, and maybe even channeling it in a way that isn't the most healthy or helpful to you. Yeah, possibly getting stuck in some of these anxieties or worries, or just a negative mindset in general, and being very, very like anxious about how things could go wrong or what could happen. And with the Page of Pentacles that came out in reverse, but I'm going to show you the image upright. With this Page of Pentacles in reverse, it just indicates that certain, solutions or certain new pathways that could be tried out in order to succeed or make headway in something, those things may have been either like missed or just delayed because of, being so consumed by these anxieties or these worries. Yeah, I feel like because of this shift that is occurring for you, because of this new sort of dynamic that is going to be coming in for you, where you are going to have a more palpable support system around you, or where other people are going to start participating in what it is that you are doing, or as you sort of become more accessible to people in general, I feel like you are going to have access to some really, really good ideas, some really good things to try, or methods or something like that. Just even some knowledge, right? Some insight that you may have missed yourself. And so that is going to help you to open up to new possibilities and to new ways of progressing. Sorry, I don't know why I said that in such a manner. But anyway, yeah, so clearly this whole change is going to help you to break out of certain like detrimental patterns, or just, this whole notion of getting stuck in your head. And it's just going to make it a lot easier for you again. Because I do feel like other people are there who want to help you, and it's just about allowing them to do so. And allowing other people who have similar values and similar mindsets as you do to find you. But let's close the reading out with a little oracle card message, which is just going to be advice from spirit. And yeah, let's see what they have for you, pile number 2. Ooh, wow. You got so many cards, but we are taking all of them. Okay, so the first card that you got is I am not my past. I love this for you because, yeah, I feel like Spirit is just trying to remind you that you are constantly evolving, you are constantly changing. And some of these sort of mistakes that you feel that you have made in the past, they are not destined to keep repeating because you are constantly evolving as well, even if you may not always feel it. So, you know, even if things have not gone the way that you have wanted them to in the past, and you may be apprehensive about the future, this card is clearly reminding you that your past has no bearing on your future. And there could be so many beautiful things that await you. We also have I trust myself. So this feels like more sort of confirmation that you have what it takes and you have the sort of the proper skill set to handle any issues should they even arise. As I said, you are more well protected than you realize. So there really isn't anything to be worried about. Oh my God. And this card literally says, I am capable of more than I realize. Yeah. So again, it's beautiful. Spirit is letting you know that there really isn't that much to worry about because you are so much stronger than you realize and you have so much more support around you. And even, you know, even more support coming in is what I feel. And at the bottom of the deck, we have, I am more than my struggles. I love this. I really love this for you. It's just such a sweet reminder. So yeah, pile number 2. Wow, I hope that this reading made sense to you because I have to say this one was such a struggle for me personally, and I'm not sure how many of you are actually, you know, able to see yourself in this or able to make sense of these messages. But I hope that at least someone out there is able to do it. So if this was your reading, if you are listening right now and this was your reading, please let me know in the comment section. I would so very much appreciate it. And as always, I appreciate any support that you show to this channel and to me, any likes, comments, subscribes, you know, just you being here and sharing this space with me. I am infinitely grateful for that, and so thank you. And as always, I hope to see you back on this channel very, very soon. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves and bye-bye. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 3. My name is Helen and I am so excited that you are here with me, sharing this space and sharing your beautiful presence. So thank you for that. But yeah, you chose this Amazonite stone, which I'm going to place right over here. And then you also chose this card, and we have some pre-prepared oracle cards, which we are going to dive into in just a bit. But first I want to sort of see what I'm picking up on from this image intuitively. Now, pile number 3. I feel like you could be in a place right now where you are trying to find a form of like healing or peace and quiet. You could be feeling like you desperately need a holiday, like you desperately need a trip abroad or even a spa day or something like that. It seems like relaxation and calm and unwinding and just, you know, being in a state of bliss and harmony is something that is very much at the forefront of your mind. Whether you are currently actively sort of doing that, or whether you are thinking about how desperately you need that, I feel like that is sort of the focal point for you right now. And you could even be thinking about like taking a retreat of some kind or going on like some sort of hike or one of those like spiritual journeys or something like that. It just feels like you are desperately needing to connect with nature, needing to connect with yourself and your body and bring all of these different elements of yourself into alignment and just remind yourself of the things that like truly matter and the things that truly nurture you. Because I get the feeling that you have been in a very busy period. Like, almost like, you know, working yourself to the bone, like that type of energy is coming through. So this thing seems to be something that you desperately need. And I feel like your body is letting you know in no uncertain terms that this is exactly the thing that you require right now for your well-being. And so, yeah, you know, maybe you even already have a trip planned, or you have like a holiday that you are going to take in the near future. But yeah, this just feels like something that is going to be so beneficial to your soul, your spirit, your mind, your body, everything. But this was just the initial intuitive part. So let's see what we can find out from these oracle cards, which are going to tell us a bit about this current situation that you are dealing with. So as you listen to these messages, hopefully it will be easy for you to understand whether this is the pile for you. We have the perfect key, movement, travel. Sorry, it's just funny when that happens. Okay, we also have clematis with number 22. So this is a like a soul path or soul journey number. This is a master number. And we have static force, defense, and we have the observer. Interesting. So pile number 3, we are getting a lot of confirmation from these cards, and it definitely seems like at this time you are looking out for your best interests, and not in like a selfish way at all. This is very much about bringing balance back into play because of possibly, you know, again, riding yourself a bit too hard or pushing yourself a bit to your limits, sort of doing things that you feel that you need to do and taking care of business and all of that. And now I feel like it's time to sort of take it back a notch and again, allow yourself to relax. Now we have this perfect key that came out first. And so this is talking about really like listening to what you need and paying attention to what you are feeling here. And it's like, you don't need anyone else's opinions or anyone else's insights. It's because you have the necessary tools to tap into that information. You already know what is going on. And so I feel like it's almost saying that you are very much aware of exactly what it is that you need. And so I feel like you could really not be paying too much attention to other people or what other people are saying. It seems like you are sort of doing your own thing a bit, or you know, tapping into your own wisdom. Now, I was chuckling when this movement and travel card came out, because clearly this is indicating that there is travel involved. You are either planning or, you know, taking a trip very, very soon, or you are already on, again, as I said, some sort of holiday, or even if it's not, you know, taking a trip abroad or something, you could just be doing something that is just for you. And with this movement as well, especially with the next card, this clematis, which is also talking about momentum and progress and movement, it feels like you are very much sort of in stride, or you have been making a lot of strides towards some sort of a goal or achievement. It feels like you have been, as I said, this is further information that you have been working really, really hard on something, that you have put your all into something, you have really committed to a dream or a final destination of some kind, and now it's like, now it's time to you know, sort of again take a step back. And I feel that especially with these two cards, we have static force, defense, and the observer. And so with the static force and defense, it feels like you are putting some boundaries in place, and you are very much respecting what it is that you need, and not allowing people to like trample on you, or to again take advantage of you, or ride over those boundaries, because you realize how important it is to the ultimate end goal, that you be on your best level, or that you be in your best form. And you can only do that when your well-being is taken care of, and when you are making sure that it is a priority for you, making sure that your sort of batteries are filled, and that you again are at your best, right? So that you could get to the best results afterwards. And with the observer too, you know, this again feels like you are just sort of taking a step back. You are just observing everything. You are paying attention to your surroundings. You are paying attention to, again, what it is that you need at this time. And I also feel with this observer that you could be noticing certain people's behavior when it comes to you taking time for yourself. And so I feel like you are gleaning a lot of vital information from how other people are acting around you. But just in general, it seems like you are very aware, you are very tuned in, you are very connected with yourself and with the energies around you. So you seem to be in a very good place, in a way, pile number 3, but also, yeah, it's like, it seems like this time with yourself is something that you desperately need to be focused on right now. But let's see if we can get any more information, any more details through these astro dice. So let's see. We have the first house, we have Aquarius, and we have Jupiter. Interesting. So I'm kind of chuckling because with the first house, and I kind of had a feeling that this might come out because the first house is the house of self. It's talking about you and everything that has to do with you, your body, your physical body, but also, you know, all the different levels of you, also your perception, your perspective, how you show up in the world and how you express yourself. So it's yeah, it's very much focused on you and your needs, and so that's why I feel like this first house is so on the nose. But we also have Aquarius, and so I feel like with Aquarius, this has a bit of an energy of eccentricity to it. So you could be someone who is making waves in a sense that you could be teaching other people about how to live life more in alignment, in a way that is more like healthy for them, and that somewhat goes against the norms or the traditions or something like that. You could be a bit of a rule breaker or a ground breaker in some way. But also with this Aquarius energy coming through, I feel like there is a bigger picture at play here, something that you are considering as you are making these moves or as you are doing what it is that you do. But the thing that I'm feeling most strongly here, though, is that you are not afraid to stand apart and you are not afraid to do you, even if other people have a hard time understanding it, especially as I was picking up on with this observer card, that other people could be acting a bit weird or they could be acting in a funny way. I feel like you are sort of picking up on all of that. You are seeing it, you are noticing it, and you're making a note of it to yourself. But at the same time, I feel like you're not really reacting to it. You are just gathering information. And so the thing is with this Jupiter that this is like talking about philosophy and truth and like what is the right thing. And I feel like this is the right thing for you. And that's what you are focusing on here. What is the right thing for you? But also ultimately, what would bring the most abundance and fulfillment? And so again, this is also talking about this big picture thinking and sort of visualizing your ultimate future and the end goal and making actions based on that. But also with Jupiter, Jupiterian energy is all about, you know, feeling good and feeling fulfilled, feeling abundant, feeling nourished, you know, having your needs met again. But at the same time, there is this element of being a bit of a teacher or a bit of a mentor to other people as well. And we definitely have this other people component with this Aquarius energy. But with Jupiter, it can talk about being, you know, sharing wisdom or sharing some sort of higher knowledge with other people. And I feel like you are doing that as you are living your example with this first house. You know, you are doing that by just being you. And again, establishing some boundaries and showing people that it is okay to live life in a different way than everyone else is used to. So if you can resonate with this, if this is what is going on with you right now, this is your everyday life, this is your jam, then make sure to keep on watching because we are looking at what is about about to change for you? What is this major change around the corner? So let's see. Whoa, okay. Wow, okay. Pile number 3, you're getting some serious major arcana. We have the Wheel of Fortune, we have Justice, and we have the Page of Wands that came out in reverse, and the Six of Cups that came out in reverse at the bottom of the deck. So we have some Jupiterian energy once again coming through with the Wheel of Fortune. So that would be attached to both Sagittarius or Pisces. And we also have some Libran energy coming through with Justice. So I'm just pointing out the signs in case you recognize them, resonate with them. But if you don't, that's okay too. I kind of feel like the major change that is about to occur for you, pile number 3, is that you are going to see some people's true colors. Now, we have this Wheel of Fortune. And so what this is saying is that things are going to be transforming for you. And they are most likely going to be transforming for the better. So I feel like you are going to witness some lucky breaks. You are going to witness some cool opportunities that almost like fall into your lap without you really needing to, you know, put too much effort into things. Especially because we also have this Justice card that came out right next to it. So, you know, things are going to be going your way, or there is some positive karma that you are reaping, or you are just hearing some news that are very favorable to you somehow, or you could be seeing certain breakthroughs, certain acceptances, or certain yeses, you know, with people giving you the green light on something, or certain things just sort of working out for you. It feels very, very promising, but at the same time, we have this Page of Wands that came out in reverse. And right next to this Justice card, I get the sense that there is going to be some sort of communication that is going to be coming in, or you could be finding out about certain messages or certain things that people have said behind your back that is possibly not the most supportive, or that isn't the most nice. Because with the Justice, it definitely feels like you're going to see the truth of something. You are going to see what is actually going on. Something is going to be revealed to you. And I feel like it's going to change things for you. It's going to shift certain dynamics that are at play. And especially because this Page of Wands is coming out in reverse, it feels really childish, or it feels very like petty, or just fueled with jealousy or envy or something like that, and just like this stupid competition or competitive energy or something like that, you know. It's almost like someone who is pissed off that you are succeeding, or that you are doing so well, or something is working out for you, and wanting that success for themselves, but also not really realizing all of the hard work that you have put into it. So it's coming out of like this ignorance, or again, just very childish energy. And we also have the Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck, which came out in reverse. I'm showing you the image upright, but this card came out in reverse. And the Six of Cups is a card of, it can be a card of like generosity and innocence and childhood connections and all of that. But if it comes out in reverse, again, it feels like some of these connections that are around you, they may not be very genuine. I just feel like it's something is going to be revealed to you about the people that you initially maybe thought were your friends, or who had your back, or who were supportive, or something like that. But I feel like it's going to be very, very clear that some of the friends that you think you had are not actually that good of friends. And I feel like it's not going to be something that like totally blows you away, or something that is going to be like this tower moment. I feel like as I'm saying these things, as you are listening to these messages, you kind of already know who this person or who these people could be. Because as I said, with this observer energy, it feels like you are very, very aware of how people are reacting, what they are saying, what they are doing. And even like some of this like false niceness that they could be expressing around you, I feel like you can see through that as well. So it's most likely not going to be a surprise to you, but at the same time, I feel like it's almost something that is going to become so apparent and so on the surface that you can't really ignore it. And with this Justice, I feel like you are sort of being forced into a position where you have to make certain decisions, or where you have to possibly decide for yourself whether you want to allow those people to have space in your life, or whether you don't really want to have that sort of energy around you anymore. So that could be something that is going to be changing as well. So, you know, some changes in your acquaintances or your friend group, or even in your like the work collective that you are a part of, something like that. Now, let's look at how you can prepare for this change. What are the strengths you can rely on, or any resources you can use? Whoa. Wow. Okay. We have the Sun that came out upright, and we have the Knight of Cups that came out in reverse. So we have some Leo energy with the Sun, and we have some Piscean energy with the Knight of Cups, but this can talk about any water sign. So we have Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, that could be relevant. And we have the Hanged Man at the bottom of the deck, which is a card of Neptune, so even more Pisces coming through. So I find it funny, I'm going to start with the underlying energy. I find it funny that we have this Hanged Man energy here, because this is almost saying that, you know, universe is urging you not to really do anything, because the Hanged Man is an energy of, you know, just surrendering to what is, just allowing things to unfold organically and naturally. And just, again, paying attention to what is going on, and trying to sort of tap into some sort of inner wisdom or guidance that could be coming up for you in this period. So it feels like, you know, some of these changes or some of these shifts in your networks or group of friends or something like that, it seems to be something that is necessary, that has to happen. We have all of this major arcana energy, and so clearly this is something that is aligning you with your highest good. And even with the Sun, it feels like, you know, Spirit is urging you to just keep doing you, to keep focusing on your well-being, your happiness, your joy, your fulfillment, and your true self-expression. So, you know, don't allow anyone to manipulate you, or, I mean, actually, I don't really even feel like people are very easily able to manipulate you, because with the Sun, it seems like you have such a strong sense of self, and you have such a strong and clear connection to what it is that you need and what it is that you are feeling. And, you know, it feels like you are in such a strong, steady place that it's not very easy to affect you, really. And so I just feel like with the Knight of Cups in reverse here, which feels like, again, this energy that isn't really looking out for you, that isn't really genuine or has your best interests at heart, I feel like what you can really do is just rely on this beautiful, radiant sense of self, this knowing that you are so wholesome and you are so strong and worthy as you are, that you don't really need, you know, other people's validation, or you don't really need other people to tell you how special you are, or to cheer for you as you are doing these amazing things, even though, of course, it's nice to have that sort of support. But I feel like with the Sun, you have all of that inherently within you anyway. You seem to be such a strong persona, and such a sort of confident and self-assured person that that is what you can rely on. And again, with this Knight of Cups in reverse, which feels like, you know, is this other energy around you, I feel like Spirit is just saying not to take it personally, you know, to not dim your light, to not alter your shine because of other people's ego issues, or because other people are too insecure to deal with it or accept it or something like that. And also with the Sun, it feels like Spirit is urging you to just keep doing the things that bring you like sheer joy, that bring you fulfillment, and that inject you with even more of this sort of energy of you being able to be good on your own, or do things your own way, right? So as the last question, we are looking at what is this change good for, or how is this actually going to benefit you? So let's see. Wow. Okay, we are getting a lot of cards, but we are taking all of them, I suppose. So we have the Page of Coins that came out in reverse. we have the Three of Swords, the Ace of Swords, the Knight of Coins, and the King of Swords. So heavy earth energy, heavy air sign energy. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Magician, which is Mercury, so Virgo and Gemini could be significant. And with the, we actually have more Virgo coming through with the Knight of Coins. And just in general, earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And we have heavy, heavy air sign energy. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius coming through here too. So I want to start off with the underlying energy here, which is the Magician. And the Magician is emphasizing how much power you actually have and how you have all of the tools within yourself, you know, to bring about what it is that you want. So it feels like you are so self-sufficient and so powerful. And because of that, you know, it's important to not allow your power to be drained by people who don't see that, or who are not, who have a hard time accepting it. If this card would focus, sorry, this card isn't focusing, but anyway, it's the Magician. So yeah, it seems to be all about your personal power and you sort of making the most of that. Because we also have the Page of Pentacles in reverse and the Knight of Pentacles that came out upright. And so it feels like with the Knight of Pentacles especially, that you have your, again, you have your eye set on something. You have this sort of dedicated journey, this dedicated path that you are on, and you seem to be very diligently focused on what it is that you are trying to achieve. And with the Page of Coins in reverse, it feels like there could be certain distractions that are, you know, taking away from that, or who are, it seems to be coming from these people around you, or this one specific person around you who could be trying to, you know, slow your journey or make it more difficult for you to actually keep working on this goal. So yeah, this Page of Coins seems to be more of a distraction than anything else, and like not really helpful at all. So we have this Three of Swords, this Ace of Swords, and this King of Swords energy that also came through. And so because we're talking about how this change is actually going to benefit you, you know, it's clear that with the Three of Swords here, that this is going to spare you some serious disappointment and heartache, because I feel like these people could potentially try and sabotage your journey somehow, or, you know, just try to undermine you or take away from some of the success that you are having or moving towards. And especially with the Ace of Swords here too, this seems to be you cutting out those types of people who have some ill intentions towards you, or who are trying to break you down, who are trying to stab you in the back. I kind of feel like this betrayal energy coming through very strongly. And so especially with the Knight of Swords, which I feel is your energy, by the way. And even though this is coming through very, very masculine, it doesn't talk about gender. This is just this very secure, very focused, very firm energy. Sorry, it's not focusing, so I have to use these other cards again. So yeah, this King of Swords is just this super powerful presence, and someone who just knows who they are, knows what they want. Again, we are dealing with Aquarian energy, because the King of Swords is Aquarius, and we had Aquarius coming through from these astro dice too. So, you know, just knowing who you are and keeping that at the forefront of your mind, making decisions based on what is aligned with you, what is true for you, and also being very protective. Again, you know, having this level of detachment from other people, not allowing people to take advantage of you or to sabotage you in any way. So this is such a powerful, powerful energy. And I feel like this is, again, so that you could protect yourself, stay on course, keep that vision at the forefront of your mind, and manifest your ultimate dreams and your dream life for yourself. So that is how this change is benefiting you. Even though this could be something that, you know, isn't too obviously it isn't too nice to go through when you have to deal with shady people, or when you have to deal with conflict, or, you know, even if just some people, you know, betray your trust somehow. It's obviously difficult to endure, but you have a certain level of self-assurance, or something that you can rely on within yourself that is going to help you sort of through that. And that is going to make it very easy for you to cut off any negative influences that are around you, or to not allow access to you, you know. But I want to close the reading out with a lovely little affirmation card, just some advice from Spirit. So let's see what we have for you. Whoa. Oh my goodness. Sorry. We lost. Oh yeah, Aquarius is here. I love this message so much. I can't even. It says, I don't need to impress anyone. Exactly. Like, this is you doing you at its finest. Like, seriously. I feel like this is such an important message. Even though I don't really feel like you are someone who has this deep need to impress anyone, but I just feel like this is just a little reminder for you to recognize your own badassness. That's not a word. Well, maybe it is now, but, you know, just to recognize your own power. I don't need to impress anyone. This is such a cool little mantra. And at the bottom of the deck, I have the ability to reframe my emotions in a way that I can learn from them. So, yeah, and it seems like, you know, you have this ability to turn every experience that you have into a form of wisdom, or something that you can tap into in the future. Again, this heavy Aquarian energy keeps coming through here. So you could have significant Aquarius placements, but, you know, even if you don't, it feels like you really, you know who you are, and I feel like you're really honoring that. So I love this for you, pile number 3. This was such a cool reading, and I am so grateful that you chose to spend your time with me. Also, thank you for any support that you have shown to me and this channel. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. All of the likes, the comments, the subscribes, all of this beautiful, beautiful, generous energy that you share with me. I am so grateful. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And as always, I hope to see you back on this channel very, very soon. But take care, pile number 3, and I wish you all the best. Bye-bye.